Yeah.
Today's show brought to you live from Lounge Media Group Studios. It's Pedro and the Freight Hound with the Logistics Lounge. The views and opinions expressed on this show by its guests are not necessarily those of Lounge Media Group or the show host. So if you sue someone, make sure it's the party responsible for hurting your feelings. Also, grow up, be an adult, and understand not everyone thinks like you. And that's okay.
What's happening, gentlemen?
What's up, Mr. Meier? I was just going to say who was going to say the first word.
I'm going to say I always say I say the first and the last word, and we're halfway done with the show already. It's like 5 minutes in. So
I know.
Hey, this man's been ripping on us. We might have to kick Mary out, man.
Yeah.
Going on late. The show's been too long.
So I was looking for like a timer or something. I'm like, when do I need to be ready here? So it's been a while since I walked through that opener with you guys. So
never had such a pushy co-host before.
I
you know what I mean?
I can be that way. So.
Oh man, Nate, we appreciate you joining us, man. How's your days going? How's your week been?
Week has been good. We've been busy. I got to go on an extended vacation, so I'm trying to get back into the. What's up, Steve? Still trying to get back in the swing of things after being gone for 2 whole weeks. First time I've been able to take a long vacation in like 9 years. So that was a blast. But getting back in the swing of things. Looking forward to the 4th of July weekend. Looking forward to a couple upcoming events that we're here to talk about today. So things are going well. How about you guys? How are you doing?
Doing great. Doing great.
I'm doing fantastic. Hunter's still working, bro. Like I was going he's gonna build up. He's gonna build up. I can see his eyes darting. I'm like, nope, he's booking freight right now.
Yeah.
I'm doing good, Nate. Thanks for asking, man. It's been a good week. Yeah, man. Things are going great. You know,
Great.
broker and stuff's going good. Show is going good. We went to the Texas Trucking Show a few weeks ago. That was an absolute blast. Went way better than we ever could have imagined, and just getting ready for the next one. Which we're here to talk about. I'm excited, man.
Beautiful. Yeah, going to be a big event. Going to be fun. So I'm letting you guys name it. I don't know when you guys are calling out where we're going. So.
Oh well, I mean it's in the title here.
Fair enough. I guess I just looked up. As I was putting out there, yeah. So the I-80 Jamboree, something I've been to a few times. I was actually just trying to pull up some pictures, so which I'll continue to try to find them. But we had some amazing pictures a few years ago. So I mean, just that beauty contest is awesome. Everything about this event is fun. So. So hopefully if you're a driver listening, you're swinging through the area, you're able to come in and say hi to us. So it should be a blast of an event. So hopefully the sun does not burn us all to a crisp. So should be great. So come by, grab some food, a pork chop, grab your pork chop. So if you haven't, now he's coming. So
yeah, well, don't give it away. You just remember pork chop. We'll ask. I'm sure Lee knows about that. So don't you give it all away. We need to let the guests. Need to let the guests do the talking. We know how you are. That's why they call you the mayor. You run stuff, man. That's what it is. We know. You just take over, man. Hunter and I could just leave right now and go in the background.
That's why I'm not even paying attention right now. I'm just like,
we're used to being bossed around by Nate. We've known him long enough. We know how it goes. So but
it is what it is.
You let you use your microphones one time, and this is how you treat them.
Yeah, I think there was more than once. So it was for a very long, or either that or it was once for a really long time. But whatever. I who's counting? I don't know.
We love you,
Nate. Nate is. He's got tick marks on a sheet of paper. You better believe that stuff. You better believe it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Took let me see. Used my pen. One check. Like
so the summer's treating you well though. Everything's going. I mean,
everything's great.
Alive in Texas, and Nashville hasn't gotten too sweaty yet.
Oh, it's been hot as shit here in Nashville, dude.
Yeah,
but whatever. At least it's not Texas.
Fair.
Hey, it actually had been bad here, man. I'm not complaining. We've gotten the 90s a few times, but it ain't been too crazy here. I can't really complain, to be honest with you, man. So I just want some of these storms to come through so it'll cool it down a little bit. But whatever. Hey, we're not here to talk about the weather. We are here to talk to this wonderful guest about this amazing long-standing event. But before we do, we need to go ahead, get some news out of the way. and then we'll get to our guest here. So news, as always, brought to you by AR Doc Pro, sourced from truckingnewshub.com. All right, with the July 4th holiday coming up here this week, we all know in this industry how ripe holidays are for an uptick in theft, mainly because of the long breaks that people are taking, companies being shut down, on days that they normally aren't, and less employees on site. So ran across this article here, July 4th holiday period. It has arrived, as I just said. Cargo theft prevention and recovery companies are already issuing warnings to the trucking industry to be on high alert over the next few days and into the early part of next week. According to CargoNet, extended business closures generally create advantageous operating conditions for cargo thieves, making this period particularly vulnerable for our supply chain and its security. The firm added that because the holiday falls on a Friday this year, it is essential to confirm hours of operation at all shipping and receiving facilities before dispatching people on loads. Obviously, that way they're not going somewhere they can't, and then they're stuck just sitting outside the gate. CargoNet has observed 184 cargo thefts over the last 5 years between the July 4th holiday period, which they count as July 1st to July 7th. They said July 1st and July 3rd have been the highest risk days during that 5-year period, though. Theft activity generally concentrates around the extended weekend closures, as I mentioned earlier. They also noted that California, Texas, and Illinois remain the most targeted states, which they normally are. So, that's nothing new here. They continue to say July 4th holiday period consistently presents one of the highest risk windows for cargo theft due to all these extended facility closures and the reduced security presence and employee presence. With theft rates nearly tripling over the past decade, they say logistics companies must prioritize enhanced security measures during this and all holiday periods to protect their assets and as well help us all maintain supply chain integrity for the United States. Some recommendations they have is both to security managers and drivers. They say during these holiday periods, we should be extra cautious and make sure that we're getting accurate license plate, VIN numbers, and descriptive information for the trucks and trailers that we're booking to go pick up and deliver freight. They said also take note of chassis numbers if you're dealing, chassis and container numbers if you're dealing with the port stuff. They say further, trailers should have high security barrier seals in addition to hardened padlocks. This is the point we're going to do a shameless plug and say we'd also recommend getting yourself the Trailer Sentry device from 7P Solutions, and it will take care of your stuff not being rolled off with because it completely locks the air system. Nothing you can do about it. It's there. It's done. It's good. So if you got those barrier seals and those padlocks, you're going to be pretty much 100% protected. So that's it. That's what the news is. Just want to make people aware that even though July 4th may be, it is a holiday, but it's not a long one, not one a lot of people focus and taking long periods of time off. It is still considered one of the highest theft holidays in our industry.
Going to add a couple things to that from the freight fraud, cybersecurity standpoint. So when you're coming up on these holidays like this, everyone wants to get out of the office. Everyone wants to jet. Everyone wants to cut corners and just move, right? Follow your processes, follow your procedures. Make sure you take the time to get everything done. If you're on the brokerage side, those loads you're trying to move at the exact last second, make sure you're doing all of your due diligence with all of the carriers that you're moving those loads with. Those are the ones that you're going to be targeted on. So ensure that you're being diligent at that last moment, because that's what you get nailed on, is when you're trying to sneak out the door and go see the fireworks.
Very well. Very good addition, Nate. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. And we're all guilty of it at one time or another, trying to get out the door really quick. Absolutely. To go and hurry up and enjoy that holiday. And that's where the mistakes happen. Not just with booking loads. It's where you forget to lock the door leaving the office. You know what I mean? So yes, great advice from Mr. Meier there. Mr. Hound, you got anything you want to add here?
How can I top what the mayor says? I mean, sorry. No, I'm good, brother. I'm good. I agree with you, though. 7P GPS Solutions. Check them out.
Nate, anything additional? No?
Nope, let's go.
Let's go. All right. Well, that does that. We're going to go ahead, get to our lovely guest here. So without making you wait any further, Miss Lee Meier with Iowa-80 Truck Stop. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me on today.
No, thank you for joining us. We very much appreciate you chopping out some time, especially, I mean, we're 8 days out from the event, technically, I guess, and so we can just imagine how slammed you guys are right now trying to put all this together.
Yeah, it's been busy, but that's all right. It's been fun.
I bet. Is it? We talked earlier, and Lee was like, "Do I have to come on camera?" And she's like, "I've been outside sweating trying to make this happen for all these drivers." So I know she's
Another shirt in my closet, so we're good. But all good.
Well, that's awesome. That's good, and we're all looking forward to it. I personally have seen it twice from the highway driving by as a driver, but Mr. Meier down here, he has done nothing but raved about the Truckers Jamboree since we met him. So we're excited to go and be a part of it, and we're excited to have you here to share some information about not only the Jamboree but also about the Iowa-80 itself. So I guess with that, we will go ahead and roll into it, and we'll start off with you as we do with everyone else, and that is, who is Lee, and how did you get to be where you are with the Iowa-80 truck stop, largest truck stop in the world?
So I am the marketing manager for Iowa-80 Group. So how did I get to be where I am? We'll jump back to 1960 when the truck stop first opened at exit 284. My grandfather, Bill Moon, is actually the one who scouted the location for Standard Oil, and he thought this would be the perfect spot to have a truck stop. And this is like before the interstate's even built, so it's just a random cornfield in Iowa, and he's scouting all locations all over the Midwest for potential Standard Oil truck stops. And exit 284 in Walcott, Iowa never leaves his mind, and a year later he actually moves to Walcott from Kansas City with his family, my grandma and my mom and her siblings. And they actually take over running the truck stop. So my family has run Iowa-80 since 1965, and we're very proud of that. We just celebrated our 60th anniversary last year. So hopefully some of our listeners today were at all of our celebrations at last year's Jamboree. We still will have cake, everybody, not to fear. There will still be cake. So anyway, after I worked here in high school, I worked in the museum. That was my first job. I interned here in college, and then I left for a couple of years after college. I'd always thought I would end up back here, but figured I better go work somewhere else. I was a shipping manager, actually, for an oversized pool manufacturer, for oversized loads, fiberglass pools in feels like another life from now. And did a couple other jobs, and then decided I would come back to the truck stop when I felt like I was finally ready to kind of take on more responsibility. So I ended up back here a couple years ago, and I've been in marketing ever since.
Wow.
So
that right there has probably got to be one of the greatest backstories ever told on the show. Like I had no idea about any of that stuff. You just said, Lee, that is wow. That is absolutely, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words, to be honest with you. That's pretty neat to meet someone who is so deeply entrenched in what trucking is. I mean, y'all's place is I mean, it might as well be an historical landmark at this point. You know what I mean? I mean, if there were historical landmarks in trucking, the Iowa-80 would definitely be one of them. So that's incredible for your family to have been doing that for so long. So let me ask this though. Did you go to school for marketing? Like, was marketing always the thing, or was logistics just what you wanted to be in? Because you said you were a shipping manager. So how the pull to the marketing side of it?
That's a great question. And no, I didn't go to school for marketing. I got a management degree with a focus in human resources. I also got an art history degree and a painting degree. So like anything could happen, you guys. You can do anything you want to. And I'm proof of that. And then I graduated from college in 2020 and, couldn't find a job and was like, all right, I'll try this out for a year. And I did. And I actually loved it. I loved being in logistics. That is an industry that never stops. And I knew that from the truck stop side. I mean, Iowa-80 is 24/7, 365, and we have been since our doors opened. So I knew it was an all the time business. So I have to commend the people that are shipping managers and that handle that stuff every single day, because it's not an easy job. Just like it's not an easy job to be a truck driver. But anyway, so no, I did not see myself in that role at all, and just figured I would work in recruiting or work in some sort of human resources function. But it all comes together. It's all about making good impressions and making people feel welcome and doing what's right for people. So it's all related.
Very, very well said. And another thing is you're keeping your family's legacy alive, doing what you're doing there. You could go somewhere else, you know what I mean? I'm sure not everyone in the family works there, but you're also a part of that. You're keeping trucking history alive, keeping legacy and stuff going. And, that's no small thing to give yourself credit for either. What I kind of want to do though is, now knowing what we know, gosh, we're going to get all the juicy stuff now. No.
So, I know you're like, I hope you can talk about it for an hour. And I'm like, yeah, I could. No. What story do you guys want to hear? Like,
I could talk about it for an hour. So we're probably here for a couple of days with Lee.
If I had only known, right? I agree, Jessica. Fantastic story. Yes, very much. So, I mean, let's take it back before we start talking about what the Jamboree is and how that came about. When your grandparents moved out there and your mom and dad, they were kids and they took over this truck stop, was the goal always to try to be the largest one? Or do you know how that happened? How the museum came along? How'd you be this massive entity that you now are?
I don't know if they set out to be the world's largest truck stop. That was a moniker that started getting assigned to us, back in the 70s when we were in Amoco, and people would come in and they wanted something like a postcard or, what we would call like a keychain or, some kind of souvenir that said the world's largest Amoco. And so, it's a title that people bestowed on us long before we said, oh yeah, we must be the world's largest truck stop, and set out to maintain that. So, anyway, I'm not sure if they ever believed that they were going to be the world's largest truck stop. I think they just set out to have a great truck stop. And our company also owns Joplin 44 in Joplin, Missouri, that opened in 1987, and Kenly 95 in Kenly, North Carolina. And that one joined our group in 2004. So they're just in the business of having kind of unique truck stops that we want people to come in and think, wow, this is like a really amazing place, and they've thought of everything, and you can do everything here. We want people to feel like it's their home away from home. They can do anything that they need to do while they're out on the road. So get a haircut, go to the dentist, go, do their laundry and watch a movie, things like that. So.
Well, I remember when I was driving and I'd come through there all the time. So it was a typical stop for me, and this was ages ago. So Rob, you were a driver for a while, right?
Oh yeah, man, 10 and a half years.
Yeah. So it was a common stop for me. It's changed a lot. So, but still common stop for me. You could kind of get anything you needed there. So not too many truck stops are like it. So, and I don't.
It was a destination. It was.
Yeah.
To me, it was like
it's
on every driver's trucking bucket list. I'm serious. I like, when I got into trucking, the guy that I trained with, he had a dedicated route. The first company I ran with was FFE. They usually did not go that far north into the Midwest. So, but I had heard about the Iowa-80, and it was on my bucket list forever. The first time I ever went there was 2009 with night refrigerated, and I still have the pictures that I took for my kids when I went in there. I was just in awe of that thing, like, because they say world's largest truck stop, and you don't know what to expect. Is it large by building? Is it large by spots? Is it large by list whatever you want, and then I'm gonna just tell you all of that. Like, all of that.
Yeah. That's our goal. Hit everything. So space and parking spots and building and amenities, all of those things. We want to be the largest for all of those. So. Oh yes, I love that old picture. That's an aerial from 1964.
So we can get a better view of it. Let me see if I can download it so we can get a better view of it.
So if you're able to zoom in, there's like 3 cars on Interstate 80. The interstate had just opened, and people are like, no one's going to use an interstate, and there's 3 cars, and I don't remember the last time there were only 3 cars driving by the truck stop.
You said 1965 was when did it first open?
So it first opened in 1964, and my grandfather and my grandmother started running it in 1965. But
yeah,
so there it is. There's the original. That is absolutely crazy. And then there's what it is today.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like some of the picture even cuts off, some of the parking lot and the museum. You talked about the museum earlier, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's pretty near and dear to my heart too. And that opened in 2008. So have you been to the truck stop since the museum opened? Have you guys been in the museum?
I never had the chance to go in the museum. The one time I had time to do it, it was closed for something. I think y'all were moving something in and out of the building, and y'all had it closed that afternoon, and so I couldn't go into it.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Hopefully you're able to make it to Jamboree this year and go through it. The museum's free and going to be open 9 to 9 during the Jamboree, so it's really fun.
The museum's great, but I got a picture of a 1964 Mack that would have been new when the truck stop opens, just so we can get our head wrapped around what trucks look like. Open,
well,
if you want.
You can throw whatever you want up on screen, but just I want to use this picture as a reference here. So here we are looking obviously at it in 1964, and we see what it became. So, how can I word this differently to make it not sound like I just asked this, because it's different. So how did all of this really start to come up that y'all wanted to offer all of these things to the drivers? You said y'all, you do have the movies, you have showers, you have place to do laundry, y'all got a ton of different restaurants, all of these things that the other truck stops don't do. So why were those things important, or do you know why it was important for y'all to offer all of this stuff to the drivers, unlike, a lot of the other big name people don't?
So my grandfather loved truckers, and he loved the trucking industry. He was not a trucker. He was not, he hadn't really been in the industry besides working for Standard. and he had like a chemical engineering degree or something. So not business, not transportation. But he just really loved trucking and truckers. And he would sit at the driver counter inside the Iowa-80 kitchen, because that's also original to the truck stop. That family, I think they're on their 4th generation of running the Iowa-80 kitchen. So anyway, he would sit at the driver counter in the kitchen, and he would talk to drivers about what they needed on the road. And they would tell him all these things that they wanted. And some of them we could make happen. You know, they wanted private showers. Perfect. Done. We can do that. They wanted a place where they could, you know, call their family. Perfect. We had phone booths. We had a phone at every single, you know, table. Before everyone had a cell phone, we had a landline at every single table in the restaurant, so people could talk to their families and talk to their dispatchers. And, you know, same thing with things like a truck wash, a truck scale, all of the, you know, amenities that we kind of take for granted at a truck stop now. You know, he would hear about it and think, okay, how can I make that work? And then we'd expand a little bit more, and we'd add a shop, we added a truck wash, we added a scale, and it just kept going. So our greatest ideas come from our customers, and obviously that's who we're serving. So we want to make that happen if we can.
And that is how it should be done, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, I think we all agree that's what the big ones are really missing. You know what I mean? It really is. They are out there putting the stuff that makes the most sense for them to make a buck. And obviously you guys are in the business to make money as well. But, you know, you get more customers and you keep more customers by giving people the things that they actually want, not what you tell them that they need to be buying. And so and I noticed that every time I went to the Iowa-80, you know, there's just everything there. The Chrome shop was massive, man. Like you just spend half a day just walking around and look for toys in that thing. So how many buildings were there before y'all got to the one that you have now, Lee? Do you know?
Well, it's still kind of the original building. Every time we like renovate, we're kind of running into the original footings of the building, which is kind of cool. But we've had 32 or 33 different expansions now. And our last one was, I want to say, completed in 2018. It was when I was in college, so a little blurry there, but 2018, I believe, is when the last one finished.
Wow, 33. So, holy moly, that is
I know.
Golly, man. So before we move into the Jamboree, you had said that there's something that is near and dear to your heart, and it is a very big part of the Iowa-80. And I mean, a lot of people come there, I'm sure, just to go to the museum. Said, I've never been, but I hear that y'all have one of the top museums in the trucking industry as far as stuff you had. So who started that? Was that your grandfather, your mom, your dad? And then how did that become a passion of yours?
So my grandfather passed away in 1992. So I never met him. But it was always his dream, his like retirement goal was that he was going to open up a museum, and he was going to sit in the museum and talk to people about like the importance of trucking and why it's so important to preserve trucking history. Like, you know, like this old truck on the screen. And he started collecting trucks in the late 70s. Somebody, a driver had come into the driver counter, and they were all upset. They said, someone is going to crush all these old trucks at a junkyard down by the river. We're about 30 miles from the Mississippi River here in Walcott. And so I guess he jumped in his car and went and bought one of these old trucks, and it ended up being a 1919 International that's still in the museum. And he would drive it to work sometimes. He would put it in parades. It sat in the carport in their house in Walcott, and he just loved antique trucks, and he was going to open up this museum. So anyway, my mom and her brother and my grandma always thought they should open up a museum kind of in his memory. We had all these trucks by this point. We had a huge collection. We brought it out at Jamboree. And it was available if you know who to talk to. And so in 2008 is actually when the museum opened to the public. And we've been open since then. and it's a free museum. It's open 7 days a week during the summer. We have over 130 trucks on display, and we have big signs that accompany all of them, so you can hear about like the history of the truck and what it was used for, where we got it from, all the things that you might want to know. So it's pretty near and dear to my heart because it was my first job, and I just had such a good time there. I loved talking to people about the trucks. I love to give tours. I give a really good tour, so if you guys want to go through it and hear all the backstory of everything, it's one of my favorite parts of my job. Even still, I feel really connected to my family and really connected to the people who come before us in this industry. I think it's important to keep those stories alive and moving forward.
Man, whew. Another powerful. Lee, you were raised right, gosh darn it. Let me tell you. No, man, if we ever meet your mom and dad, we're going to sure tell them how great of a youngin' they raised, because, man, they sure instilled a lot of amazing qualities in you. And most of all is your love for this industry, your family's love for this industry, and to show that type of dedication to your family's legacy and by opening this museum for your grandfather, that's absolutely amazing. So the trucks that y'all have in there that were y'all's, who redid those? Do y'all have someone on staff that, has rebuilt those and kind of manicures them for y'all, or what?
Yeah, so some of them we did not restore. Sometimes they're donated or purchased, restored, but we do actually have a restoration shop on site, and we have 4 people that work for that department. Wouldn't that be a fun job?
Yes.
And so my cousin Billy actually works over in that department and restores trucks, and it takes like 2 to 4 years to restore a truck, depending on how easy it is to find parts. I mean, because we're not just repainting them and calling it a day. We're replacing, anything we can or fixing anything we can. So they're almost like new when they come into the museum. They'll run, the engine's been overhauled, the engine's been fixed, whatever. I mean, we've done it all. So it's really amazing.
Well, I could say we need to get Billy on the show here. That's what we need to do. We need to get old Billy on the show too.
That will be either a 2-day conversation or a 20-minute conversation.
We're game for either. This has infinite time. We have already tested it.
Yes, so interesting, and I love going in that building. So I'll introduce you guys to Billy at the Jamboree because he'll be there.
That would be great. That would be awesome. Before we start moving into actually talking about how the Jamboree itself came along and all the amazing things that go on, like I have just been yipper yapping, asking all these questions. Mr. Hound, Mr. Meier, floor is yours if you have anything you'd want to get from Lee now.
We're going to be out there and kind of going through everything. So, but when you really look at I-80, and go to the website if you're interested. If you're not a driver and haven't been there, the place is interesting. Actually, the History Channel, I believe the History Channel has done an hour-long special. Maybe was it? I think it was the History Channel. I should have checked. So, but there's several like hour-long episodes that have been done about I-80, and there's dentists, there's just whatever. It's an amazing experience. It's a different thing. It kind of, if you're I don't want to throw the competitor out there, but they're not really a competitor. But if you think Buc-ee's is interesting, you've seen nothing yet. So, for those Texas people, so give swing on through if you're in Walcott and check it out. But how about Hunter? You got anything there?
Yeah, no, I'm on the same boat. I haven't been there before. This will be my first time going to the show, so I'm just excited to see it. I've been looking at the website too. Like that museum in itself is insane. How many trucks did you say? 150-ish?
Over 130. I know
That's
some
crazy.
For Jamboree, so I'm not quite sure what our number is, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. No, I'm excited about it. What's your favorite truck in the museum?
Oh, that's a good question. We have a new one, kind of new. It's a 1996 Freightliner cabover from Consolidated Freightways, and it's been restored. And number one, it's just massive because it has like the pup trailers, and it's just huge. But I was born in 1997, so the fact that a truck from 1996 is like in there makes me feel a little old, but it's just got a great story and it's so recognizable. So I love that one.
You know, the truck in there closest to Nate's age is that 1919 one that you were telling me. Yeah.
But
and that's not even our oldest. If you really wanted to get him, you could have said 1903.
Is that the oldest y'all have?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Holy, that is nuts. So just think about it. That is only 6 years after the technical invention of the semi truck. We actually have that slide runs during our intro. 1897 is when the semi truck was technically invented. That is absolutely nuts, man.
That is crazy.
What?
Yeah, we're gonna have to get in touch up there and do some interviews so you can break down the trucks for us. Get a little example of the tour.
You just get her to take you on the tour and just record the
go
whole
live.
thing, bro. Go live. Yes, we'll go live.
My arm will be shaking by the end.
And I'll still have more to show you.
Oh man, that is absolutely. Oh, that is so crazy, man. The stories behind this place. I just imagine. So, how many people, Lee? Do you know how many people it takes to run the Iowa-80?
Yeah. So we're 24/7, 365. We've got 3 shifts of people, so it ends up being close to 530.
Holy gosh!
I know, but when I found out it was only 530, I was like, I figured it'd be like way more, which is just a testament to how amazing our employees are. I mean, how clean everything is and the food constantly and, you know, everything having to be restocked all the time. I mean, they do a phenomenal job and, you know, keeping the lot clear from snow and all the groundskeeping that is required by such a large place. I mean, and I'm not just saying that, like they do a fantastic job and we couldn't do what we do without our frontline people. So
I don't care what you say. That's a lot of people.
I was about to say, yeah,
that's a lot of people.
Like, I was surprised it was only 500.
No, okay, I should have just let it ride. I was surprised.
That's a lot.
I don't know what I thought it would be, but they said 530, and I was like, oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know how many I thought it would be, but it seemed like a low number.
You about to say something, Nate?
That's a lot of people. So 530 people. So that's a town in and of itself. I mean, it's a
whole economy.
Oh, yeah.
That is a great comparison. Like you have more employees than some places have population numbers.
And we've got a dentist and a barber and a
Oh,
that's
man.
how you need it.
I mean, we are a town.
I mean, we're a third the population of Walcott just employed at your building or at your property. So Walcott's 1,549 people is what it says here. So so it's needless to say you're the largest employer in Walcott. I've been to Walcott, obviously. Yeah.
And you know, isn't that weird? You talk about the size of Walcott, and you know, isn't it strange that the larger truck stops are in the middle of absolutely nowhere? You know, I mean, like she told us the story of why it's there, but you know, it's like it's still the middle of nowhere. I mean, how far is the largest city? What, 30 miles, 45 minutes, something like that?
It's Davenport, and that's about, I don't know, 17 minutes. I live in Davenport, so it's not far.
Well, either way, so still the middle of nowhere. It's the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
It feels that way when you're out, but it's not that far. Yeah.
I guess it's just if you're coming from the westerly direction, you know what I mean? Like
That's about 45 minutes from Iowa City.
So moving into the Jamboree, what's the story of that? How did that come along?
This will be our 47th annual event. And it started in 1979. My grandpa wanted to have a customer appreciation event. And so he thought, why don't we have like a pork chop cookout out in the parking lot? I'll call some of my friends and they'll bring their antique trucks and I'll put mine out in the parking lot and we'll have an antique truck show. He called some dealers, like local dealerships, for new trucks, and they brought out some new trucks to show off. And it was just a customer appreciation event in the parking lot. And it's grown, but the concept hasn't changed. We have a pork chop cookout, we have a truck show, we have an antique truck display, and it's a customer appreciation event. So it's grown a lot, we've added a lot, but that's how it started.
So it's the second largest job there, pig farming. Is that why the pork chop cookout's there?
Yeah. Iowa's a big pork producer, so
it's all starting to make sense.
But so what? Mm-hmm. But why the pork chop though? Was that y'all's signature dish in the restaurant or something, or did your grandpa just run across a good deal at pork chops at Wally World that week? It was like, this is what you're getting. We can't do steaks, but can't do steaks. We do pork chops.
No, I think it was a signature dish. I think the pork tenderloin, and it's a thing. So they're delicious. They're incredibly big. I mean, like incredibly thick. So they're great.
Nate, I
get excited about the pork chop at Jamboree. So, well, I'll have several.
Good.
Oh man, I love a good pork chop, man.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
Mm-hmm. I saw the big things: baked potato.
I'm a protein guy, especially right now. So we'll just be focused on the dense calories. So.
Okay.
And we are bringing the strongest man in logistics with us too, so he'll be digging in on the protein too. I'm pretty sure. So I wish we could put him on the Olympics. So
does he have a CDL?
Oh no, he doesn't. You have to have that, don't you? So we couldn't do that. Yeah. So
what he could do though is he could have a pork chop eating contest with the That's what we could do though.
This Olympics, they actually pull a truck. So they pull a truck. So they're just freehand. So they put it in neutral and just pull a truck. So, which tell me we should just have Bain get his license and pull it. So, and just so you can go and compete. So, but yeah, that would be
a good one. That would be fantastic. So what? 3 days is what you guys do. This 10th, 11th, and 12th. So what all takes place over these 3 days? I mean, there's got to be more than just really cool trucks on the lot there. You said this thing is really grown. It's amazing. We know you got pork chops. What else can everyone look forward to at the 2025 Truckers Jamboree?
So we also have live concerts every day. So on Thursday, we'll have the Jimmy Welty Band and Casey Music Men. On Friday, we will have Angela Meier and the Western Stars. She's a local band from the Quad Cities. And then Little Texas. Everyone knows Little Texas.
Yeah.
And Saturday afternoon, we'll have Danny Lynn Howe and her band. And again, she's local, but she's been at the Jamboree before, and we love having her. So we've got live music, we've got a fireworks display, we've got our famous Lights at Night competition. So everyone turns their lights on in the parking lot. And, it's turned into also show off your train horns. It gets pretty loud, but it's super fun. And so while the fireworks are going off, it's also like a light show, and you get to walk around and see all of everyone's lights and themed lights. So it's a super great time. We talked about Trucker Olympics a little bit. So those are all 3 days as well. And then on Friday at 2 p.m., we also have a 100th birthday party for one of the trucks in our museum. So we have cake, and my dad, Dave, actually does a curator talk about the truck, kind of tells the story of it, how we got it, where we got it from, what it was used for. So we're celebrating the 100th birthday of our 1925 Kenworth KS 3-ton. It's a really beautiful truck that we've had in our collection since 2004, so kind of a long time. So anyway, I invite all of you to join us for that, because the museum's air conditioned, and you might be in need of some air conditioning by then. And like I said, there's cake, and it's just a really fun time to kind of celebrate where we were, as an industry in 1925 to where we are now, where, everyone's got a fridge and a microwave in their truck and a TV and all sorts of stuff. And these people didn't even have like power steering. So we've made a lot of advancements that were good for the industry.
What's these trucker Olympics that you're talking about? You say it goes on all 3 days. So like, what do they do? What are the events and stuff?
Oh my goodness, it's a whole list. So they have a tire roll, they have a coffee cup relay, strap winding competition. They have a water balloon toss. I actually think that I would rather get hit by the water balloon because at that point you're probably so hot, you're like, need some cold water. Oh my goodness, what else? Let me pull up my list here because there's so many fun things. And they're all 3 days, and anyone that has a CDL can enter. And there's prizes and, of course, medals and bragging rights. Bragging rights are probably the most important part. We also have the strong pull, which is where they're actually like pulling the truck. That one's pretty impressive to watch. Especially people get it pretty far, which is crazy. And then like our coffee relay. So we set up an obstacle course and they have to run with like a cup of water in their hand, like they're running with a cup of coffee in this obstacle course without spilling it. So it gets pretty intense.
That would be a good one to see right there. Because if you're a driver, everyone's done the coffee relay before.
Right.
I've seen the paper. I've seen what they turn in. So
yeah, exactly. You get that piece of paper, man. It's got that coffee spill on it, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tons and tons of paper full of coffee. So no doubt.
Yeah, some of them are pretty good about it. They're pretty clever with how they're, trying to run around stuff without spilling water. Some of them will try and take a drink of it. I think that's considered cheating now, but for a while it was not. And it was pretty funny to see them try and drink the entire coffee cup of water, do the relay, and then spit the water back into the coffee cup. So I think that's been outlawed, but I think that's what I'd have to do because I definitely trip and spill it. But again, the balloon toss. So if anyone's listening and anyone's planning on coming, bring a partner because the balloon toss is fun to watch too, and that's a partner event. So
how many show trucks do y'all usually have enter into the I don't know if it's competition, but I guess you say show truck event. We'll just say that.
Yeah, our Super Truck Beauty Contest, normally we have about 110 trucks in total, and they're split between like bobtails and tractor trailers. We have spots for both. That's actually what I was painting lines for today. It was for the truck show. So anyway, normally about, I would say 40 tractor trailers and probably the rest are bobtail. So it's normally a pretty good show and they're beautiful and people do such a nice job of, getting their trucks all ready for the show. So it's a really beautiful show.
That's a lot of trucks, 100 plus trucks. That's a pretty good amount.
Potatoes.
I'm sorry, what, Lee?
I said it's no small potatoes. It's a good array.
No, that's a lot. I mean, if you had to think about it, that's probably about what is outside at Matt's, give or take. 100 trucks out in that parking lot out there in front of Matt's?
Yeah, I'm going to say there's more. If you want to share what I got there, let's see if I can flip. Why can't I flip through? There we go. These are pictures for a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
From our rat rod division. Yes.
Oh, is that one of y'all's?
Oh, no. It's a
Oh.
contestant from the rat rod. So we also have a specialty division on top of just the bobtails and then the tractor trailers. There's specialties, so dump trucks and tow trucks and all sorts of stuff, and also like rat rods. And that's one of our antique exhibitors. So normally we get about, I would say probably 100 to 150 antique trucks, which is awesome also. And that's free to exhibit. Both are free to exhibit. So
this is a sleeper with like a Western scene in it. I thought was cool.
Oh yeah, Marcel. All the little details in that truck were phenomenal.
And everything about his truck is amazing. Well, his trucks. So, but yeah. So just the detail in the chrome, the trailer, the inside of the trailer, which I think I've got a picture of. I tried to copy over 90 pictures. I think I got 20. So I was trying to when we were talking here a minute ago. So But you see how it's got a 6-shooter on the fairing here.
That's so cool.
So this is a transformer scene. Well, this is actually another truck. He's got the truck. He's got another truck. These are actually work trucks too. So, but I'm probably going way over what I need to here. But this is the inside of the trailer. He's got a mural inside his trailer.
It's all painted and it's got music playing, and yeah, I think he won Trucker's Choice, which is the award that our super truck contestants vote on. So they vote for who they think like deserves that title, and I think he won it in 2002 or 2022, excuse me. But
so Lee, you said that y'all are having that 100th birthday party for that truck, and your dad is going to do a talk there about that. So do y'all do anything else there, like educational at the show? You know, just besides maybe walking through the museum, do you have, you know, special events talking about like the history of Walcott or the Jamboree or anything else like that that's educational and historical or for the drivers or the people that are attending?
So typically, during our awards ceremony, there's like a brief kind of talk about the history and like the history of the event that my mom does, just kind of like thanking people for coming and this is why we do it. And that's always Saturday afternoon. So awards start at 3 o'clock and there's typically a little bit about it, but otherwise, just promotional events from us. So we talk about it beforehand normally. But I like that as an idea of, you know, adding some, this is why we do it to the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, be a cool thing. I mean, you got a lot of history and stuff there. I mean, you're literally, like I said, a destination. You guys know it. Y'all are a destination for not just drivers. I mean, I'm sure y'all get probably equally as many four-wheelers that are on, you know, just rolling through. They're like, oh, I heard about the world's largest truck stop, and it was on a route. We just had to come in and stop at this thing. So, you know, and as someone who loves history, like I would definitely be the dork that would sign up for every one of those. your dad's talking. I'd be right up front with a list of questions. All right, Dave, here's what we know.
He would love that. He would love that. I mean, anything you like want to know about the trucks in the museum, like he's got the story for it. He knows where we got it. And I love to pick his brain about stuff too, which is why I always love his curator talks, because he's like, oh yeah, I remember this and it's not written down anywhere. I'm like, write it down. We're going to need that.
Yeah, right. You know, like say, hey, you know, you're like the kind of the chef in the family that when they pass, they don't leave a cookbook. We're all screwed. We don't get that food no more. So Dad, if you don't write this stuff down, there's going to be things we're not going to know. Who's going to know the combination to that lock over there? You know?
Right. I try to write down everything they say. I'm like, I'm going to need that later. So I'm glad that I'm here and can be part of it to kind of like keep those memories alive and, you know, keep reminding people why we do things.
That's just amazing to keep hearing, you know, your family's connection to this stuff and how strong of a hold that y'all have on it. And I can hear from talking to you that, you know, your family's going to be around running this show for a long time. You know, when a lot of others have moved away from the industry, you know, and have sold out and all that, it's good to see and good to hear that there's still the OGs around that were there in the beginning. You know, I mean, like you said, the interstate wasn't even there yet when your grandfather was like, man, this is where we're going to put this thing. This is what's going to happen. And then all those years coming back, I want to say all those years later, him coming back and taking over and running it and y'all being there ever since. So I guess final thing that I kind of want to know is about the operation stuff of this show. How long do y'all start planning out for the following year? Is it, you know, July 13th? You guys are starting this all over again or what?
Yeah, I mean, we've already picked the dates for next year. I don't know them off the top of my head, but I mean, we've already picked the dates for next year. So it's literally, we're already planning. We're already thinking of stuff that we need to remember for next year. So it's a really big undertaking, but it's fun for us. It's fun for our customers. So as long as it's good for both of us, I mean, we're going to keep doing it. So we've got a great team that helps with it. So that helps.
I was just about to ask, you know, we're talking about, you were out earlier painting the lines, you know, how far out do y'all start getting that stuff, right? Like actually prepping on site, blocking things off, getting vendors in, all of that, how far out are y'all dealing with those things?
So I think they blocked off the lot last week, and like we painted lines today. We'll start parking next week on Tuesday at 10 o'clock is when we'll start actually parking trucks, and antiques start on Wednesday. I think vendors probably start coming in Tuesday if they've got larger vehicles that they've got to move in. The tents go up this weekend, so I'm excited. I'm coming in on Sunday and all the tents are going to be up. That really looks like Jamboree to me, like the food tent and the vendor tent, and it just all of a sudden looks like everything's happening. So it's so fun to see.
Well, so what does this do, and how does y'all's team have to, I would say plan around or move around this event? Because obviously you're blocking off a pretty large portion of y'all's area or y'all's parking. So, what type of issues do y'all run into, and adjustments do y'all have to make as a whole within this to make this happen and not, I guess, mess with business? Is there anything special that goes on there?
Honestly, I'm not sure that I'm qualified to even answer that, but I think it helps that we've got such great customers too. Like they are excited that we're going to do this, and hopefully they're coming back to be part of it. So, hopefully they're like, thank goodness, I'm so excited the Jamboree is back. I know it takes out a lot of parking, and I've noticed that, people are parking along like Sterling Drive up by our headquarters. So I think they just park wherever they can and adjust. And, hopefully they know it's for their benefit that we're going to do this event, and hopefully they're able to join us and take part in the fun. So I appreciate everyone, still coming and continuing business as normal so we can have our fun, right?
Heck yeah. Friggin' A. And I don't think anyone minds. I mean, y'all still got tons and tons of parking, and like you said, they know what's going on, so everyone's looking forward to it. And as you said as well, it's for their benefit, or for their brothers and sisters on the road benefit. So, have something fun to do. And it's a good thing that y'all do this here, and it not only is a destination for people like Nate and Hunter and folks that kind of come into it, but it's something for the drivers out there as well. They're just out there cruising on the road, and Iowa-80 is along their route, and they can stop there, Friday afternoon on Saturday or whatever, and have a little bit of fun, get out of the truck, walk around, see some cool stuff, be with some people, and just enjoy themselves while they're away from their families too.
Right. I love on Tuesday and Wednesday when we're out parking the trucks, there's, people that aren't going to be here for the Jamboree, but they've parked and they've walked in and gotten something to eat, and they come back and they walk through the show trucks and they're like, I didn't even know you guys did this. And then, they show up the following year and they're like, no, I'm here for Jamboree. And that's so fun and, rewarding to, that people are seeing it and coming for the first time. I can't believe you haven't ever been here before, Hunter, but I'm so excited for you to get to experience Iowa-80 and her peak weekend. I mean, It's so fun to see everybody here and see things you'll never see again. So
I'm excited Hunter's coming. I think we have a crew of, potentially 9 people now, because somebody just joined.
Wow.
Maybe. So we probably have another person joining the crew. So we'll have a good freight movement turnout and be able to celebrate the industry with you guys and talk to a whole bunch of drivers. And actually, to be honest with you, the whole industry kind of comes by. It's not always just drivers. There's all kinds of people from the industry and just everybody from the local area kind of comes out to see the trucks and see everything. So I always just enjoy talking to everybody while we're out there. So it was a lot of fun a few years ago, and other times I've been there. So we're super excited. If anybody listening can swing on in, look for the freight movement booth. We'll be out and about. You can't miss us. We'll have some big black freight movement banners sticking up in the air, and we'll be happy to chat with anybody that's out there. And Lee, you'll have to come out and chat with us too. So
yes, absolutely.
And just look for the bearded short guy that looks like he ate a buffalo for lunch.
Yes, he's as tall as he is wide, and he's a monster. So that would be our strongest man in logistics that we talked about. So he's
Okay.
a power lifter. So so he carries the title and he means it. But it's too bad he doesn't have his CDL. So
Maybe for next year. We'll put that on the calendar.
That needs to be the mission, Nate, is to get Bane his CDL for next year just so he could pull a semi truck, man.
Right.
Yes.
Sounds like fun to me. So yeah, we had I forgot about the CDL component of that. We talked about it. He would have been all about it, but he's got a meet coming up here pretty soon.
We can probably find some willing driver out there to let Bane pull his truck.
Yeah. So fair enough. So.
Well, we're going to start to wind it down. We've hit our hour mark. No, Lee has got a schedule she has to keep, as well as Nate and all the rest of us as well. Even though Hunter and I don't look busy, I promise you we always are. So what we're going to do is before we give Lee the final word, Mr. Meier, is there anything that you wanted to add, ask, say to Lee?
No, I think we went around the circle a couple of times here, and I think we're once again super excited about this. Appreciate you coming on, Lee. Thanks, Rob and Hunter, for having me on to join this. I know we're all going to be there together, so that'll be fun. Except for Rob, who's stinking out. But we're going to miss you, sir. So as always. So, but it'll be a great event. It'll be fun. And hopefully we're able to help promote the whole thing as well. So should be a blast.
Mr. Hound, what about you, buddy?
I'm excited. I didn't wake up this morning knowing I was going to Iowa-80, but now I am. So it's going to be a good weekend. And yeah, Lee, cool story. Like, honestly, just like how your family's gotten into this and your passion for it. Like, definitely looking forward to meeting the whole crew up there, and be ready to do some interviews.
I'll be there.
You're going to be our resident storyteller,
expert of Iowa-80.
Yeah.
Should change my LinkedIn bio at this point to that.
You should put like Iowa-80 tour guide or something. You know what I mean?
I think
it's Iowa-80
fan of the world's largest truck stop. I think that's my LinkedIn right now, but I like that too, tour guide for Iowa-80. So I'm so excited for you guys to be there. I'm so excited for Jamboree. It's July 10th through the 12th, just to reiterate. And our full schedule is on TRUCKER'SJamboree.com. It's on the Iowa-80 Truck Stop website. So I hope everyone joins us. I hope everyone feels welcome to do so. And I hope we have a great time. I hope for great weather too. I'm really hoping for great weather. So
sunny and 75.
Yes.
Yes. Sunny and 75 would be perfect, and no rain.
Right.
Yeah, no rain. Except for like, well, I wouldn't say in the middle of the night because
No
then
rain.
get all the show trucks. Yeah, then we get all the show trucks messed up. So no rain. Yeah, no rain. Just overcast. How about that? Right, there we go.
Overcast. I'll take overcast. Yep. Yeah.
I can just imagine what it feels like on that freaking blacktop, man. Oh man, I could just imagine. Ooh,
I don't have to imagine.
Yeah, me either. I actually felt it this morning. It was hot. That's all right. It wouldn't be Iowa in July, so it is what it is.
That's nuts. I really didn't think it got that hot up there when Nate was talking about 95. I was like, it gets that hot in Iowa? Like,
oh yeah,
seriously?
Easy. Yeah, absolutely. So,
Mr. Indie Trucker.
Yeah.
Show up.
We miss you, Chris, man. We miss you. Thank you very much, Paul. Why aren't I on Sirius? I don't know, just because I don't go on there and bother Charles. He says we come on whenever we want. I just I don't know, haven't gone back on yet.
I think he's asking why you don't have your own segment.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that is what he's asking. I just assumed he's asking about Charles. I don't know. Paul, let's start a petition, all right? Hashtag Logistics Lounge or Sirius for Logistics Lounge or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll get it down to a good one. Lee, you, I guess you kind of said your final part, but I'm still going to ask the question because if I don't, I'll feel like I forgot. But do you have any additional exiting comments, questions, concerns, updates? Do you want to give yourself or Iowa-80 some plugs where they can find y'all, website, social media, that kind of stuff, maybe?
Yes. So check us out on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, our website, Iowa80truckstop.com or truckersjamboree.com, our TikTok, World's Largest Truck Stop, I mean, you'll find everything you need there. We'll be posting the full schedule every single day on our social media. So follow us for live updates and live content from the show too. So thank you.
Perfect.
Heck yeah. Sweet. Well, Lee, if you would just stick with us for a minute, we're going to do a little sponsor break here, and then we'll end the show, and we'll talk for a minute backstage if you got a few moments. So, everyone, thank you for watching. This is an incredible show. Towards the end there, we were talking about how they deal with blocking off all of that parking in their parking lot, and we all know how much of an issue parking is, period. And that's why we have such a wonderful sponsor called Freight Ninja. They can help you with that while you're out on the road. They got great monthly rates. Make sure you use code Lounge Ninja and get yourself an even deeper discount. And our news story, to touch on it again, was about the theft levels that happen over the holiday weekends. This one coming up July 4th. It is one of the top ones. Did not know that, but now you do as well. So you want to protect yourself. You want to protect your assets and your cargo. You need to get yourself a lovely device from 7P GPS. They have the Trailer Century. They've got all kinds of GPS units, all kinds of other anti-theft solutions that can help keep you and your freight safe. Safe from theft. Listen to me, man. Mumbling over my words. All right, that is going to do it for us. We will not have a show this Friday because it is July 4th. So we know no one's going to want to see our ugly mugs. You're going to want to be hanging out with your family, hopefully on a beach or on a boat, enjoying some good food, maybe some adult beverages, and of course, some fireworks. But make sure you're safe out there. If you're on the roads, please travel safely. And if you are going to be partaking in adult beverages, please drink responsibly and do not drink and drive. Anyone got anything that they want to add before we say bye-bye?
I got to say bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. As I always say, chunk them deuces. Mr. Hound, roll that beautiful bean footage.
The views and opinions expressed on this show by its guests are not necessarily those of Lounge Media Group or the show host. So if you sue someone, make sure it's the party responsible for hurting your feelings. Also, grow up, be an adult, and understand not everyone thinks like you. And that's okay.